Hey guys, John is 26.2 here. I'm reviewing the Brooks Purecadence 7. It's been a very long time since I've worn Brooks. The last pair of Brooks shoes that I wore were these Brooks Defiances. These were the last pair of Brooks shoes that I ran in. These shoes are about 5 or 6 or 7 years old, and they're just a completely different shoe. I wore this shoe and the Brooks Adrenaline. So these were ultra cushioned, 10 to 12 millimeter heel drop, and in the case of the Adrenalines, ultra supportive shoes, and these shoes were great at what they did. However, when I started running half marathons and marathons, I began to get some knee injuries, and for that reason I decided to transition from a heel strike to a forefoot strike. And that's when the Brooks went out the window for me. That's where those shoes no longer served a purpose for me until now. Starting off with the ride of the shoe. This shoe has a 4 millimeter heel drop between the heel and the toe. Also going to the bottom of the shoe has plenty of tread. It's still a relatively light shoe, and at men's size 11.5. It weighs 10.1 ounces compared to the Saucony Kinvara, which weighs 8.6 ounces. So it is heavier, 1.5 ounces heavier, not a significant change in my opinion. Because this shoe has so much more tread, I love this shoe in bad weather, in rainy conditions, in wet conditions, running on maybe a wet sidewalk that might be a little slick. A road shoe like the Kinvara that doesn't have much tread, that has a whole lot of exposed EVA foam, these shoes make me nervous in those conditions. These Brooks, I am much more confident. Because of this more heavy aggressive tread, it can get it done. The tread, if you notice, it is also segmented. It does help with the flexibility of the shoe. The shoe is still a relatively stiff shoe, unfortunately, despite that segmented tread on the bottom. Moving to the heel of the shoe, it has a rounded heel, which helps encourage what I talked about earlier. Forefoot, that mid strike even, definitely that forefoot strike. If you are getting a little sloppy and landing on your heel, that rounded heel helps to roll you onto your toes, back where the shoe performs best. This shoe is not meant for heel strikers. If you are a heel striker, I do not recommend this shoe. This shoe will be a very jarring shoe for you. One unique thing about the shoe that I absolutely love is that it does have slight stability features. Technically, it is still considered a neutral shoe. Brooks considers this to be a neutral shoe, but it does have mild stability features. It has these guide rails on the side. It starts all the way on this side, goes all the way around into the front, as you can see by that darker colored foam. And this is a dual density foam, meaning the white foam here is not as firm as the blue foam here. And so because this foam on the inside is harder than the foam on the outside, that prevents you from rolling inward, from pronating. This is a perfect shoe for somebody like me. I'm still a pronator. I transitioned from heel strike to forefoot strike to try to eliminate that pronation and become less dependent on stability shoes. However, if you are a pronator, sometimes during that very last part of your run, you might be getting a little sloppy with your form. Maybe the last 5 miles of your marathon, maybe the last 3 miles of your half marathon, maybe the last 1 mile on your 5K. When you're just tired, you're exhausted, sometimes your form gets sloppy. These guide rails will help you in the case that you are getting a heel strike every once in a while. It'll help prevent some of that pronation, and it will alleviate some of that damage that comes along with it. It'll protect your hips, your knees, your ankles. Also, this shoe has the Brooks DNA midsole. that they are so excited about. It's their top secret midsole, so they don't really explain exactly what it does or how it works. All they can say is that it reacts based on what part of the shoe is getting the most pressure. So for example, maybe if the balls of your feet are right here and this part of the shoe is getting the most pressure, that midsole will react accordingly and become most responsive in the parts of the shoe that receive the most pressure. That's about all that they say about it. I don't know how it works. They don't say really how it works. Nobody seems to know how this thing works, but it is in the shoe, so take it for what it's worth. Another cool thing is that this midsole is made out of their biomogo material. If it is in a landfill, it will biodegrade 50 times faster than a standard shoe with standard EVA foam in the midsole. So that part is pretty cool. Full disclosure, I did clean up the shoe because it was very dirty and nasty. Just so that it would look nice for the video. I have ran in it for 50 miles. I love the ride of the shoe. It feels it's still very fast. The stability features are just such an extra bonus, and they help me out personally because I do pronate when I get tired. I don't stay on my toes for my whole run. I'm still transitioning into that forefoot strike. For the ride, I give it 8 out of 10. It is still stiff and you can feel the stiffness. I would like it to be a little more flexible. Overall though, the ride is one of the strong points of this shoe. 8 out of 10 for the ride. Moving on to the fit. The fit is made out of this woven upper. It is seamless one-piece woven upper, which is awesome. And it has these 3D printed welds. These welds don't go all the way through the upper. They're over the top of the upper to provide a little more support, a little more security to the fit of the shoe while keeping the upper seamless. The material of this upper has a little bit of give, but for the most part it's pretty rigid, which I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of this material. It is hard. It almost feels like denim to try to describe it. It feels kind of like denim. I've never really felt an upper with this type of material before. Not a huge fan of it. However, it has a separate bootie on the inside that wraps around your foot like a sock or like Under Armour, and that material for the bootie on the inside is extremely soft, extremely forgiving. I love the material. That material, great job on that material, Brooks. 100%. That is perfect right there. I wish that the outer part of the upper was made out of that material. Another thing I'd like to point out is that this heel collar is extremely soft. I don't know if you can tell how soft it looks in the video, but it is so soft. It does extend down about halfway down the heel counter, which helps to keep that heel counter snug without being tight. One point I would like to make with the super soft heel counter with this woven upper that feels like jeans. I've been running in this shoe in the winter time and it keeps my foot nice and warm. I don't have a problem with cold feet in the winter. This shoe rocks it in the winter time. Come summertime, I don't know that this shoe has a way to vent heat compared to the Saucony Kinvaras, which you can visibly see the vents in the shoe. I don't see anything like that in these Brooks. Whether this shoe can vent heat or not is a big question mark for me. So for the fit, all in all, I'm just not a fan of this upper. I love that it is seamless. I love the sock liner on the inside. I love the soft heel counter. I love the 3D welds. Everything about it except for the material at the top. This is most of the fit. So for the fit, I'm giving it 7 out of 10. I think Brooks can work on it. I don't think that there's any glaring weaknesses about this fit. It's just, it could be better. It could be better. Moving on to durability, as I stated before, I am 50 miles in this shoe and there are literally little to no signs of wear in this shoe. This shoe, durability is this shoe's strong suit. As much as I complained about this upper being so rigid and feeling like denim, at the same time that plays to its strength of its durability, that I don't see this upper splitting at all anytime soon. It seems very tough. Same with the bottom, with all this tread on the bottom. It's gonna keep that foam, that sole intact for much longer than the standard road shoe will. Little to zero EVA foam is going to be coming in contact with the ground because of the way this tread is spread through the shoe. So for durability, it looks like a new shoe. I know I cleaned it. There's no signs of wear even in the tread. There's no splitting happening, no fraying happening. This shoe, it looks new. If you're looking for a shoe that's lightweight, that's gonna last you a long time, this could be the shoe for you. Durability, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because I have only ran 50 miles in it. But there are literally no signs of wear. This may be the most durable shoe I've ran in a long time. 9 out of 10. Finally, onto the looks of the shoe. I'm always gonna feel uncomfortable talking about the looks because the looks have absolutely zero impact on the performance of the shoe. Zero impact mechanically on the shoe, but the looks are still a thing. I don't think that a shoe should be chosen based on its looks, but the looks can be a good tiebreaker into comparable pairs of shoes. For this pair of shoes specifically, the looks I'm not really into. It's pretty plain. All the color combinations that you can pick with it, there's not really much exciting about it. And anybody who knows me knows I like really bright shoes that stand out. Bright, neon, exciting color shoes. These shoes are not those types of shoes. Nothing wrong with the looks. They're just pretty plain. And personally, I would like something more exciting. Looks, 6 out of 10 for me. Not a fan. Big fan of the shoe overall. So that gives this shoe a grand total of 30 out of 40. Strictly on performance, however, this shoe scores a 24 out of 30, a much better score. I do enjoy this shoe. It is heavier than a road shoe like the Saucony Kinvara. You are trading that extra 1.5 ounces for some extra traction, some extra durability, and some extra stability. However, that 1.5 ounces is a very small price to pay for all of those things that you get. And in my opinion, those 1.5 ounces are not a deal breaker unless you are really going at it, really training hard, and you're just like really trying to just eke out a PR in that 5K, in that half marathon. Then you're gonna want to reconsider these shoes. For a training shoe, those 1.5 ounces are not a deal breaker by any means. Thumbs up for me on these Brooks Purecadence 7s. I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's watching this video right now. Thank you for watching this review. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Any comments that you have, any insights that you have that I might have missed, go ahead and put them in the comments below. If you like this video and want to see more reviews, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. So these are all of the running shoes that I have saved over the past 10 years.